Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to In Conversation with Radius Award winner Maitreyi Ramakrishnan, presented by William F. White International at the 2022 Members Lounge. My name is Beth Jansen, and I am the CEO at the Canadian Academy. I'm so excited about this session. I need to tell you that Members Lounge 2022 is presented by the Canadian Media Producers Association, which represents hundreds of Canada's independent producers. It's also made possible with the support of our programming partners, Directors Guild of Canada and Ontario, William F. White International, Bell Fund, Le Fond Bell, Boat Rocker, NABET 700M Uniform, Telefilm Canada, La Banque Nationale, Le Bureau du Cinéma et de la Télévision de Québec, the Independent Production Fund, Panavision, and La Sodec. If you have any questions for today's speakers, please put them in the Q&A function on Zoom, and we will save some time for those at the end of the session. Closer to the end of the session, we encourage you to submit them. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce you to today's speakers. Moderating today's session is superstar Yoon. Yoon is a playwright, actor, advocate, and mom who makes her home in Toronto. After an illustrious theater career, Yoon is now best known for her work on Kim's Convenience, for which she has received the 2017 Actor Award for Outstanding Performance Female and 5 Canadian Screen Award nominations, including this year. She has also appeared on Orphan Black, Dragon Boys, The Expanse, and Nurses, and was honored with the Berks Diamond Tribute for Women in Film and Television in 2019, and the Actor Toronto Award of Excellence in 2020. And speaking with Yoon today is 2022 Radius Award winner Maitreyi Ramakrishnan. Maitreyi's multifaceted acting talent has captivated international audiences with her fast-paced comedic and heart-wrenching dramatic skills. She has been recognized by the Gracies, the annual Asian American Awards, and was nominated in 2021 for Best Actress by the Independent Spirit Awards. You can now watch her in Pixar's Turning Red, voicing the role of Priya, and she is currently filming season 3 of the hit show Never Have I Ever, created by Mindy Kaling. Thank you so much for being here and welcome.
Yay!
Oh my gosh.
Maitreyi.
Yoon.
I know. Is it great?
I'm still just not over the fact that like I'm talking to you. Like you are such a superstar.
No. I'm just a mom, but I'm so excited to be talking to you because you've got this, like, from Mississauga to world.
apparently.
So tell me, okay. You were 17 and you found out on Twitter that Mindy was. Yeah. And then you went to the library?
Yes. So actually, I had Twitter. I didn't know how to really use Twitter though. So my best friend was the one who found the tweet, and they were the one that sent it to me and said like, yo, let's do this. So we decided to go to the community center because both of our houses are filled with family members and not a lot of blank wall space.
Yeah.
So we went to the community center library and like rented out a room to like film it there.
Wow. That's amazing. So I got to ask you, when was the first moment you thought, I want to be an actor?
So, okay. When I was like applying for universities in grade 12, yeah. I actually wanted to first be an animator and I wanted to work for Pixar, and that was the dream. But I realized I couldn't like focus and just sit down and just like, I couldn't do that. I always had to like get up every 5 minutes to like find a distraction. Like I would purposely procrastinate. My mom, she saw the passion I had for acting that I would do after school. She saw how that made me so happy, and she would come to every single one of my shows. So she would also see the audience reacting to my comedy and would see how I'm making people absolutely laugh. So she noticed it first, and she nudged me to apply for a theater program too, like amongst the animation, portfolios I was on, like applying for. She also was like, maybe Maitreyi just do like a theater one too. And I was like, fine, Amma, whatever, fine. I don't care. And then I realized during my, like one of my last performances in high school, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm actually proud of myself. And I rarely feel that. So that was definitely one of the first times I genuinely felt overwhelmingly proud of myself and just happy.
Wow. So your mom encouraged you, because my mom was always like, it's not too late for law. She was saying that until I was 40. I've got it on videotape.
Damn. Nice. You got on videotape. You got proof. You got proof.
Yeah, so you didn't have a secret moment, that you didn't have a secret thing where you were like harboring it. So your experience is so totally different from mine. Wow.
Yeah. I realize how like privileged and blessed I am to be able to say this, because like it was my mom that really saw my love for acting before I even saw it. She saw how I was making people laugh before I knew I had that skill. I had that talent. I never considered myself to be funny. My mom saw that first. My dad has always been someone to encourage me to do whatever I want in life, as long as I do the best job at it. So when I was younger, he would buy me all the art supplies, send me to do whatever like classes I need to. He would always support me in every way that I could. So both of them have always been like my biggest, cheerleaders during all of this.
God. So now you're starting season 3. Like, are you shooting season 3 now? Are you done?
Season 3 is done. We wrapped that actually late February, and then we've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but we're gonna start back with season 4 soon. We're right into it.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. So, okay. Now this is the Asian mom in me coming out, but what about college?
Okay. When I started Never Have I Ever, back when I was 17 in 2019, I just deferred my theater. So I did end up accepting my theater application. I did end up accepting that at York. And I deferred it for the first 2 years while filming. I just couldn't take that stress. I also in the COVID world that we fell into, I was like, I don't really know if I want to do that right now. But then in the past year, I've decided to switch up my degree, because I still want to, I like to learn. I really do like school. And I have, the fortunate, situation where I'm able to pay for post-secondary. That's a privilege, right? So why wouldn't I want to use that when education and knowledge is power, right? Yeah. So I switched my degree to human rights and equity studies, because that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. Yeah. And it's completely not completely, but still different from acting. Yeah. I can exercise both sides of my brain,
Yeah. Well, it's also like you've been an ambassador for Plan International Canada, right? It's sort of, lifting the profile for children and girls around the world. So that's a powerful thing that you're doing. It's really important, and it's it's a huge privilege when you have the kind of profile that you have right now to be able to do that.
Exactly.
So that's really exciting, thinking of taking it into sort of like international studies and human rights.
It's something I'm very passionate about, and it's something that I never want to be surface level about it. I love Plan International. Working with Plan International is great, because they teach me as I go. They don't have this expectation that I should just know, but I also make it clear that I don't want to just put up a post. I don't want to just blankly read off of a script and just talk on a surface level. I need to actually understand and really see the issues that are going on here if I'm going to speak about it, because that's how you have that level of authenticity that resonates with people when they're listening to, you speak in an interview or talk about it on social media, because there's authenticity that comes from within,
Yeah, when you're speaking from the truth. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about another thing, which is thematically huge, I think, in all of the Asian cultures, in immigrant cultures, but also in Never Have I Ever, and also in Turning Red, and that is relentless standards. You know, the relentless standards of our immigrant parents, and our expectation and our hope always to try and be perfect and do it right. Do you feel that, like I feel that that's been a huge part for me, like this feeling like if I'm going to do it, it has to be really good, and sometimes that stops me from trying things, and other times it pushes me to do the best. But I feel like that's an Asian thing, isn't it? Do you have that too?
I definitely think so, because I totally feel you on the like, oh, if I'm not going to be perfect at it, I don't want to try it all. I don't even want to,
it's scary.
Face the possibility that I could be even the slightest bit like bad at this. I used to really be like that a lot in high school. I definitely was like that. Now I'm really not. I've embraced being bad at something. Like, you know, I've come a long way. But my parents, they've never been people to be like, you need to be perfect. You need to, you know, like fix this, fix that. My parents definitely will say like, Maitreyi, fix your posture, or like, you know, Maitreyi, like, you know, you should say this instead, like next time, like they'll still give their helpful hints.
Yeah.
But they've never ever like put that pressure on me of like, if you don't do it, you're a failure. I always did that to myself. I don't know if you can relate to this, but like, in high school, going back to high school, I would spend like hours with my math homework because I'm really not good at math. And I was actually getting like a 42, a solid 42. And I hated that because I hated being bad at things. I can't, to this day, I don't know my times tables by like memory. But I can tell you like how to move quadratic formulas and all different, you know, equations that way. I'm great with that. But I was so stubborn. I would spend hours and hours at my math homework. My mom and my dad would tell me like, Maitreyi, go to sleep. Like you need to sleep. You need to go rest. And I would get so mad at them. I'd say, no, you don't understand. And my dad would just so happen to get like a midnight snack and stay up and eat. And now looking back, I realize he just wanted to give me company. In the end, the 42 became an 89. So don't worry. I was that stubborn. And then I was like, I'm done with this. We're out.
My God. So, oh my God. Yeah.
The perfectionism runs deep.
Perfectionism does run deep, and it's a brutal thing in the Asian community. I'm wondering also about the just going from Devi to Priya.
Oh man,
I know.
They're two different kinds of angsty. They're two different kinds of just sass. One is high school, Devi, and one is middle school, Priya. And of course, they're both South Asian in these coming of age moments, but they're very different because I think Priya is more confident than Devi is.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it is when you're in middle school versus when you're in high school.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are way more like, I am who I am. And you're way more about embracing the things that you like when you're in middle school versus when you go to high school, you feel that pressure of like, everyone's judging you now, go fit in, don't be weird. And I think that's where Devi is at versus where Priya is like, I'm my cool self.
Yeah. Priya's got that sullen kind of, I don't care.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely she does.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, actor to actor, what do you think drives you? Like, what is it that makes you
just all of that?
Yeah.
I feel that. I know exactly what you're saying. No, I do because in my life, I've never felt happier than when I'm on a set, you know? There are very few moments in life where I'm only thinking about one thing in my mind. Usually I'm the kind of person that has like at minimum five different things going on that I'm still like figuring out my weekend plans, but also like the side work that I have to do. And then just so many things always going on at once. But whenever they call like camera and set, as soon as those two words happen just before action, all of that just shuts down. and it's just my one track mind of that moment. And I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm the most in control of myself. I think that just comes from like just the true love and passion for acting and taking on these roles, knowing I'm one small part of something so much bigger than myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm one small voice in Turning Red that is literally a history-making Pixar film all around the world. I'm just one small character, Never Have I Ever, that is making absolute change, changing the narrative of that people of color, Asians can be the lead. We don't have to be a token one scene. I'm just this one small part to help make that point.
Yeah.
And that is awesome. That's just so badass.
When it's all working together, it's that flow state, right? Like you're kind of like, it's the flow state, the state that everybody tries to meditate into, and the state that musicians have when they're playing, or when you're dancing and you're just letting it all out. But
did you ever see Soul, like Pixar's other movie, Soul?
No, not yet.
I highly recommend you watch it, because like there's this moment in Soul where like, you know, the main character, he gets into that meditative state while he's playing his music.
Yeah.
That's just his jam. And while he's playing the piano, he goes into this meditative state, and there's this scene where he sees all of these other souls go into that meditative state in their own crafts, other arts, or other just passions. And I think like truly like acting really is my passion.
Yeah. It's really an amazing feeling. That's what I really like about it too. And it's that community thing that you get when everybody's pulling in the same direction. And you can accomplish so much more, and especially when it's about telling stories that haven't been told. I have to say, I just adore the relationships, the Devi and mom and Devi dad. Oh, it's the season 1 finale when you come down on the beach. It's just like, I was weeping. I was proud of the mom character, and I was proud of Devi, and I was just like, because you know, this our moms, I mean, not your mom, because your mom and dad seem so much like more progressive, I guess. But there's like that relentless, like, I raised you to be so much better, and all that sacrifice we went through, and that kind of push that immigrant parents give. But to see it just sort of crack open, and you actually just the cascade of love that's behind it. It was really, I'm so grateful to you and to Mindy, Kaling, and to your whole cast, because
thank you.
The show that you guys have put together is just, it's kind of what I've been dreaming of all this time, and I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Jane.
Yeah, the entire cast, and just wow. So I got to move on to some of the other stories. I'm getting all emotional.
But it's exactly what you're like saying though. It's we were all there on that beach. And it's like a sport. We're all in the same team, gonna go make that shot, gonna make the scene absolutely beautiful by all carrying our weight to just create something that's bigger than all of us. You know?
It was crazy, that appearance of John McEnroe there. I mean, like, I actually had to go back and watch the first episode again, because I'm going, why is John McEnroe narrating this? And then Andy Samberg comes on. I'm going, what is going on?
Oh my God. I remember getting so excited when I found out that Andy Samberg was going to be narrating too. I love Andy Samberg, but fun fact, McEnroe showed up to the beach already in like a diving, like surf suit. That was like just what he showed up in. And we were like, okay, we are on a beach. So yeah.
So do you ever feel like you need to channel John McEnroe for Devi? Because that's obviously kind of like,
well, he's her inner thoughts. So, I mean, whenever we film and there's like narration in between the scene, we do have like someone reading it. And I have to use those inner thoughts to help turn Davy's decision in a different way, or show her emotion about how she feels about someone suddenly, that realization moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, McEnroe's words do echo through my head quite a lot while filming.
It's so wacko. So through all of this incredible journey of like going from 0 to like 1,000 miles an hour with Never Have I Ever in season 3 and Turning Red and all the accolades, who is your team that keeps you safe, that keeps you grounded? And
yeah, my team definitely is my family, as I've already mentioned, my mom and my dad, also my brother. I have an older brother. I'm the youngest sibling. He's the oldest, just two of us.
Yeah.
He definitely keeps me grounded and he always just sees me as his normal little sister, you know?
Yeah.
Same thing with my cousins.
Yeah.
They are always there to just humble me at any moment. They're ready.
Oh, yeah.
They're very ready. My friends, like my good just Canadian friends that knew me before, you know, and will always know me before. Actually, with the Turning Red premiere in Toronto, I got to invite all of them to see the movie.
Oh, nice.
And and it was their first time having that experience. And it was also their first time seeing me in like celebrity mode, you know, like seeing me fancied up and dressed up. Cause they always know, like they've known I'm famous, but it's hard to think like random people will like scream if they see me. So they're like, that's just Maitreyi. She's just the homie. That's just who she is.
Yeah.
So they got to see that I am still the same person when I'm in that celebrity mode, but it's just a little bit different because I'm super glammed up.
Yeah.
And also now I'm like, okay, time to take charge of the room. I feel like that's where I shift from like regular Maitreyi chilling at home. If I'm with my friends, I'm cool to just chill in the back and just like stay silent.
Yeah.
Then when I'm in celebrity mode, there's that the way I hold myself is very much so like hold yourself with self-respect, know your worth, and take charge of that room, make your presence known with class and grace, of course.
Yes. Of course. So just before we came on, you were talking a little bit about the Vanity Fair. Tell us about that. Tell us about what it felt like to take charge of that room.
Oh my God, Vanity Fair, like the Oscar party is exactly what it looks like in all those photos. Like it is just as crazy where you'll see everyone talking to everybody. It's like the saying is, it's like the one night where everyone is allowed to talk to everybody. Like that's the rule. You can go up to anyone you want and just say, hello, hi, nice to meet you, huge fan, whatever, you know? Yeah. So that was awesome. And I'm the kind of person that never really gets starstruck by anyone. Because I think of it like this, Jean. Yeah. We've all had diarrhea before, right?
Yeah.
So I think we've all had that universal experience. So I don't see why I would have to get starstruck over someone in a way that like I would be unable to speak. Of course, like I'm excited to meet people like yourself, right? Because I absolutely loved your work on Kim's Convenience. My mom is a huge fan of Expanse. Oh my God.
Oh, yay.
Oh my gosh, she loves that show so much.
Oh, it's a special show for sure.
She screamed when she saw you on screen. She was like, oh, like she was yelling for me, like, come, look who's in Expanse. And I'm like, Amma, I don't need to see another like surgery happening in space, Amma, like what? And then I was like, oh, sick, it's Jean, that's sick. Anyways, point is, I just always like to think, you know, everyone deserves the same respect as just human beings, no matter what accolades or what you've done. You can always be a fan and appreciate each other's like, you know, work. Yeah. But no matter who you are, always like lead with respect. So I happily was walking around that party, talking to whoever I was like able to meet and just holding myself in a way that I would always remind myself, yeah, you belong at this party. You do.
Oh, you were so much more evolved than I am. I get nervous at those things. I get nervous. Yeah.
It's all good. See, you know what? If we ever go to a party, we'll both walk around together.
Okay.
We'll walk around together and meet everyone.
See, if there's music and I can dance, then I'll just do that to distract myself. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If there's no music, then that's a problem. That means that party's.
There's no party. There's no music, no party. So who is who but there must have, like, who did you talk to that like made you feel a little bit?
Someone I was very excited to talk to and like be able to meet was Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's so gorgeous. She's so gorgeous.
Oh my God.
So saying hello to her and then her saying, "Oh yeah, I know you. You're on Netflix." I literally said, "No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't know me. No, you don't." And she's like, "No, I do. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. That just means so much to me. Like, hi, I'm Maitreyi Ramakrishnan. Like, just such a fan." And it was just cool. We were both standing there waiting for our cars to come. As you know, we're waiting. Zendaya's car pulls up. She says hello to us. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, hi. Hello.
Wow.
I see you on my screen all the time."
Yeah.
What? So
Oh my God. Wow. So here we are now. It's 2022. Year 3 of the pandemic. Good not to be in college during a pandemic. It's just, but do college. As an Asian mom, I think college is really important at some point.
Don't worry. I'm doing all the good old online courses.
Okay.
I'm keeping it online because I'm just nervous. COVID. I don't want to get COVID.
No, I don't want to get COVID either.
I've been holding so strong. I feel like sort of a unicorn sometimes when I'm in LA.
Yeah.
Because like I shock people when I tell them I've never had COVID yet. And they're like, "Oh, you haven't gotten it at all? No way." No, I'm like, yeah way. Lots of staying at home by myself.
Me too. Too much staying at home by myself.
Yeah.
It's so lonely.
It gets really
I know. I'm so happy to talk to you right now.
The human connection is great. The human connection is so good. God, actors, we're so dramatic.
I know. Such a ham. So now you've got the Radius Award.
Yes.
That's in recognition of your international impact and your ambassadorial role, really, for women of color, for leading on a show that is making such a huge difference in terms of representation of all families of color, immigrant families and kids of color. And just like, how's that feel?
I think the impact of like what the Radius Award means only hit me when I was, able to like film my acceptance and, hold the award.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a huge deal.
It is.
I guess because like doing all of it in COVID in the beginning made it seem very like, is this actually real? Or is this just like an internet hoax? Like, are you actually a celebrity? Or are you just like a meme online, But then as things started like coming to like, fruition in the real world, real in-person events, it's like, oh my gosh, this is your life. Like today in the car, I'm just staring out the window and it hit me that I can say like, I'm an actress. Like when someone asks me, what do you do for a living? I'm an actor. What? Like the fact that I can even, I say that is still something that boggles my mind. And the fact that some people around the world look up to me, also absolutely wild.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And all the time I have moments where I realize it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you mean. Exactly what you mean. Because there's one thing where you go to work and you have that great experience of working with a team and you've got the flow and your satisfaction in the can. And then months later, there's this huge wave of response and it's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. Because like when you're on set and you're doing it, it's just all about the craft, it's all about just making something like truly like an arts and craft project. You're putting it together. And then suddenly your arts and craft project is like in display at like a museum and everyone's, taking photos of it. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is, whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like, when you're actually working, it's all about like, oh, I need a snack and then in the next half hour because my blood sugar is going, and it's focusing on those sorts of things, and like, this thing in my shoe is bugging me and it's going to distract me when I'm doing the show.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, focusing on those lines that are just like,
Yeah.
and then boom, you go. And it just seems it's well, I mean, the thing is, making a TV show, you're working with such a huge team, but still it's a lot.
It is. Yeah.
Wow. I'm just wondering, it looks like we're getting some questions from the Q&A.
Q&A.
Oh, what is something that Devi or Priya has taught you about yourself? That's coming from Shaq, Jessa, he, him.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that question. I appreciate it. It's a good question because, I mean, I'll go to Davy. I learned with the release of season 1 that, you know, Davy can't possibly represent all South Asian experiences, you know? And when I would see comments saying like, oh, I was never like Davy at all, blah, 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 blah. I wasn't like Davy 100% when I was in high school. Like, I was nowhere near as boy crazy. But I would get upset because I'm like, what? I worked really hard on this. Like, what do you mean you don't like Davy? You know?
Yeah.
Then I realized we can't all like Davy. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. How can we all relate to Davy? That wouldn't be fair. And I understand the frustration of those who can't relate because they've been waiting for so long to relate. You know, we're still in a position where there's not enough characters that look like us for people to relate to and to a T say, yeah, that's my girl. That's my character. So I would walk around and say this about Davy, you know, Davy can't possibly represent everyone, but I would still put the expectation on me that I have to represent everyone. Davy can't, but Maitreyi should. Maitreyi needs to be better. Maitreyi needs to represent everyone and, you know, take on this like whole like task all on her shoulders. And then I realized, wait, that makes no sense either. So Davy, in a way, sort of helped me like learn that. That's not necessarily her character, but I guess the creation of her character helped me realize the only thing I can do is be authentic to my experiences and make room for others who look like me and others with untold stories come to the front with me to represent their life. And hopefully we'll all be able to relate at some point.
You know, that's again, your relentless standards. I'm telling you, it's an immigrant thing. We're trying to be perfect. You just said Devi doesn't have to be perfect, but Maitreyi does.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I realized when that hit me, I was like, Maitreyi, what? You're so stupid. Obviously, you can't either.
Yeah.
So Davy has helped me learn a lot about myself.
I think I'm more like, I think maybe my upbringing was more like Devi's than yours. Like I definitely dealt with more. My mom is pretty momish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, but I mean, for her, I mean, she really just she didn't get the whole acting thing, but then eventually once I started writing my own stuff and doing theater and stuff, then she got it. But I actually let's put it this way, when she saw the stage version of Kim's Convenience after when we took it to Soul Pepper, I asked her what she thought, and she said, oh, this time was good. You know, that's what
oh my God. No, but see, my mom can also be like that because my mom comes to set with me every day and she will bluntly tell me where she's like, that facial expression, I didn't believe it. I'm like, what, Mom? The scene's already done. Like, I can't go back. So like, that's not really helpful. Like, I can't say, oh, sorry guys, can we go back to that scene from yesterday?
Yeah.
That's not how it works. She's like, I'm just letting you know so you can think about it in the future. And I'm like, okay.
Just take the note. My mom came to every single show I did of the first play I wrote.
Yeah.
And she started bringing friends. She was really proud of it. But I remember after one performance, she said, Jeannie, can you act? I was like, yeah, I can act. Yeah, okay. Jeannie, can you breathe? She says, yeah, I can breathe. Jeannie, can you breathe and act at the same time?
No.
Better. Also, suitcase was in the wrong spot. No light there. So
She's a director.
it was a really good note. It was a really good note because I was
Powerful
really,
stuff.
I know.
Powerful stuff, and you take it with you every project, every set you walk on.
Every set you walk on. Yeah. It was
Breathe and act. Know where the suitcase is.
Breathe. Make sure that, we've got more questions coming from the Q&A. This one I'd really like to, because though this is a hard question. This is from anonymous attendee.
Hi, Anonymous.
Is there a role that you dream of playing?
Anonymous.
I find that a really hard question. So
anonymous attendee, you're asking some really, really tough stuff. I mean, I love all genres. I love all the different genres. I want to play characters that are completely like different to Davy, just to like really expand like what I am able to do, right? And just take up more space. But like a specific role that I've always wanted, like an actual character that already exists, has always been like Rapunzel. I just want to like trust me, my favorite genre is thrillers. I love thrillers. I want to do some like nitty gritty thrillers, but there's also the other half of me that wants to be a just pretty princess and, live that journey out.
Can you do a Rapunzel thriller?
That would be dark. She is locked up in a tower. I feel like aren't like all old fairy tales.
If you do a Rapunzel thriller, here's the thing. If you do a Rapunzel thriller, you have to play both Rapunzel and the woman who liberates her.
Damn.
And it's a thriller.
It's like a whole, wow.
It's a whole thriller.
All right, start writing.
Start writing. If you need a cranky old Asian Korean woman, and
please have your mom be an executive producer on it. Thank you.
She's 91.
I need her input. I need the input. I need the notes.
You can get the notes after, and she can say, "Yeah, okay, that's good."
That's all I need. That's all I need.
Okay, we got a couple more questions from the Q&A. Oh, what would you like to see change in Canadian content? What is missing or we need more of to engage your and future generations?
That's a good question. What would I like to see more in Canadian content? What's missing? I feel like what I really liked about Turning Red and what a lot of Canadians really liked about Turning Red was that it was very unapologetically Canadian.
Yeah.
Lots of, Canadian, like lots of content in general is things that are shot in Toronto, Vancouver, that are masked as somewhere else.
Yeah.
And there's a certain magic that comes from Canada, right? Like when I try to explain to people in LA the diversity that's in Toronto, like just the GTA, it's like I can't, like I don't have the words to describe it, because like how do I convey such a unique place to someone who's never been, right? And with Turning Red, like those small details of like Maylin's elementary school, that looks like a typical Canadian elementary school. At the front of the school, it was like, celebrating Indigenous like History Month. I thought that was amazing. Just those small details that really, really made me feel like this is home. Like this is how I grew up. This is exactly to a T. Kim's Convenience was my first representation of that. Like seeing that, like having OCAD be mentioned, I was like, oh my God, pencil building. Yeah. I love pencil building. Like that I think is really cool. I just think we should really stop like masking, our cities.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, one of the things I really liked about Kim's is I actually, the basketball court that's in the trailer at the beginning, that's just about a minute away from where I live.
Yeah.
And the actual store is about 10 minutes away from where I live. It's all downtown Toronto. And I like the Daisy Mart in Never Have I Ever. In Turning Red.
Turning Red, the good old Daisy Mart. I like to think that the reason why, the Sky Dome like isn't the Sky Dome anymore is because of a red panda. Like that's just history. That's factual. But I think we should just stop masking Canada as somewhere else and just let it be Canada and have the Canadian, filmmakers be the ones behind the camera. Like that's very important. Don't be telling that story for Turning Red
Yeah.
was very crucial because she can speak to that energy. She made Toronto a whole character in that movie. That essence was there. And that only happens when you bring Canadians behind the camera, right?
Yeah, only happens when you bring Canadians behind the camera, and when the authenticity of the story is really, it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it has to be non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Oh my God.
Agreed.
Questions coming. Oh, what is the one question Maitreyi would like to ask Jean, knowing that Jean played unique roles and a POC actor in Canada?
Okay. It's your turn. Now it's your
Oh my
turn to be
God.
asked.
Okay.
Are you nervous?
Oh, no, I'm nervous.
Okay. One thing I'd love to ask you. If you could have one wish to see the future of just Hollywood in general, but also specifically like Canadian talent. If you had one wish for people like me that are still making their way, because I mean, I'm only just under 3 years into this.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the advice that you'd want to give us? What would be your wish and hopes for us as young Canadian talent, young talent in general, writers, directors, future like actors? What would you want us to know, and what would your wish be for us?
One thing I think is really important, and I think part of your success is because you've already mastered this, but a lot of young actors feel that are so desperate to try and advance that they might. Okay, here's the thing. Being an actor, the most important thing about being an actor is knowing why you're an actor, and then investigating that until you get to the best reason for being an actor. So in your case, you've already discovered that you want to tell the truth, that you enjoy the play, that you're all of your talent, you've learned how to focus it and get that flow coming.
Yeah.
And I think, I think that the big thing I would say is that in whatever you do in life, know that whether it's acting, whether it's work, whether it's in whatever pursuit you have, that you're doing it for the right reason, that it's truth, and that you never sacrifice your dignity, and that nothing is more important than sorry, I've got to think. Nothing is more important than those big principles, whether it's truth, justice, love, and those are the core reasons, and to not sacrifice those. So you're already there. Know your worth, respect. But a lot of times people are desperate and they're insecure, and it's just really important to kind of always check in and go, am I doing this for the right reasons? Am I grounded? Is this important? Is this going to help me grow? Is this going to be good for the world? Yeah.
Check in with yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, well, you know, that's just, I'm just being old.
No, you're not. That was good advice. I mean, my mom always likes to remind me to check in with myself and really just I'm very thankful my mom comes with me to work, because it's always nice to just have my mom just ask me, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
You're okay there?
Yeah. That's just really having her in your corner. Yeah. So you're 20 now, so you don't have to have a chaperone, but will she still be coming?
Oh yeah, Mindy just loves having my mom on set. So yeah. I did not need her to come on set with me season 2 or 3, but I can tell you she'll be there for season 4. My mom's a part of the crew. The props department actually made her a chair that says her name and Never Have I Ever on the back. And what's funny is that the cast, we don't even have in season 2 time, we didn't even have chairs that said Never Have I Ever on the back. It just said our names on the front. And my mom was the first one to get one that says Never Have I Ever on the back.
Respect.
Knowing who the real talent is. It's knowing who the real talent is on set,
Oh,
yeah.
Another question that's come through is music.
Ooh.
Do you play the harp?
I did have to learn the harp during season 1.
Yeah.
So Monday to Friday, I would be on set, but on the weekends, I would have to do harp lessons. So I can't play like crazy well. All the harp music that you hear in the show is actually just someone else playing. But like I could tell you like the notes and like all of that. It's something that I would, if I had the time, I would actually learn.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. And do you sing? Are musicals something that you want to do at some point?
I do. I would love to do a musical. Oh my God.
It would be fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I want my Meryl Streep Mamma Mia moment, I would love to do a musical. I don't think I would, like, I love music. I play piano. I play a little bit of violin. In high school, I played the drums and I knew how to do bass. And yeah, I was like the vocal captain for our vocal ensemble. So I adore music. Yeah. I don't think I would ever make my own original music though. Like I don't think I'd ever do like songwriting. I don't think I have that, but when it comes to musicals, I would love to do that because that's the perfect mix of my acting, bringing it with the character amplified by music. Yeah. That I would love to do. I would love to do a musical so much. Oh my gosh.
It'll happen then.
I hope.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Amazing. If you could do any musical now that's already exists, what would you want?
Heather's the musical. It's been my favorite musical for so long. And like, out of just like loyalty, I will always continue to say it's my favorite. Like my dream character would be Veronica Sawyer. I love Veronica Sawyer. Yeah, that's my favorite Winona Ryder role too. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, and more questions coming through. In the
all the questions.
Okay. What is it like being a Canadian in Hollywood?
I mean, you could answer this too.
No, I couldn't because I've only spent a few weeks down there at a time. And I mean, I just basically stuck out in Koreatown and ate my face off.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's so smart though.
Well, and the Korean saunas there and stuff, but.
Fair. I mean, it's funny because I like in the first year when I was 17, I would say the saying, it's a good set when you have at least one Canadian on it. Yeah. There always has to be at least one Canadian for it to pass the vibe check. Yeah. So I would say, you're welcome. Glad to be here. But I had to change a lot of my Canadianisms, like in the way I speak. I would say like, hold on, let me go get my bag. And they're like, bag? And I'm like, yeah, my bag. So like I say bag, they say bag. Okay. I say I've never been there before. They say I've never been there before. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I speak like an American.
Maybe.
That's
helpful because it's really hard when you're speaking as Davy, who speaks a mile a minute. Yeah. And then I don't like switch it in time. And I'm like in the middle of like a whole ramble speech. And I say, like, I just drop a bean and I'm like, shit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can we go again? I'm sorry.
Oh man, they notice that? Oh.
They do because to them it's so jarring. They're like, bean. And I'm like, whatever, who cares?
Yeah. I remember I was dating a guy in Chicago and we had a big fight about the word process, which he said process. And I can process.
I go with processed.
Yeah, process is Canadian, process is more American.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'll just keep talking the way I'm talking until someone like pokes me and says, don't say it like that.
Yeah. My favorite though is when people will say like, oh, so like where are you? Like if it's like a Zoom conversation, I'm like, oh, I'm in Toronto. And they're like, oh, are you filming? And I'm like, no, like I'm from here, born in Mississauga, like born and raised. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're Canadian. Oh my God. And I'm like, there's a lot of Canadians. Like I'm not like a unicorn.
There's so many Canadians in LA. I've heard that there's as many Canadians in LA as there are in the third or fourth largest city in Canada. So Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, probably like Edmonton or something like that.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true, but there's a lot of Canadians down there.
Damn. Okay. I will say I get very hyped when I meet another Canadian.
Well, Sandra is Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, meeting her was so cool though.
Yeah.
She's so cool.
Yeah, she is cool.
Yeah.
She was here in Toronto for a couple of years after Double Happiness. Have you seen Double Happiness?
No, I am not.
Oh, okay. So that was her first film. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like if if uh if you did a story of just Ramona with if it were Ramona character with Devi's mom is what you would get with Double Happiness.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check
You
it
should
out.
check it out. Yeah. Okay. And we're getting along. Oh my God, we're running out of time. So we've only got a couple 10 minutes left. So we've got a couple more questions before we.
Okay.
Oh, for both Jean and Maitreyi, who are
Hi.
your role models in the industry or outside of it?
Okay. Do you want
Yeah.
to go first?
Who are my role models outside of the industry and in it? I think one of my role models, he's passed away now, is an author named Wei-Sun Choi. He wrote a number of short story collections, and he was the president of the board of the theater company that I ran for a while. And he had this incredible belief in our generation and your generation to create new Canadian work that reflected the cultural diversity and the sexual diversity that exists here, right? And he was kind of like my spiritual dad, my creative dad. Like, you know, I'd go to him whenever I was like sort of considering a new direction to turn. And yeah, he was the kind of guy who, when he felt lucky, would buy lottery tickets and he would always win. Yeah. So that was my, yeah. How about you?
I mean, I have a couple. I think if you're going in the vein of like our creative industry parents, mine would definitely have to be Mindy.
Yeah.
And like, I always feel weird whenever I say Mindy as like role model and stuff, because like I never want it to come across as like, oh, of course she's saying it because that's like her boss and her like South Asian boss. So of course she's gonna pick Mindy. And it's like, no, it's not just that. Like Mindy is always, of course, yes, she's given me this huge opportunity. I would not be here without Mindy, of course. But on another level of just like who she is as a person, I am so grateful for. I'm so grateful for her just existence, for all that she does for, you know, audiences around the world that include myself, my mother, everyone, you know, and just everything that she's doing is just so amazing that when I get really hard on myself and, you know, I have these moments of like, is it really getting better? Like, is it really, are things really going in a positive direction? I can always know that if I look to her, I call her, like she'll be there for me to lift me back up and get me back on, you know, the chariot that is being a woman of color.
Yeah. No, she's done amazing. I mean, I just breaking into the office writer's room at 19 was just like, wow. And then all the writing she's done, she's really made a huge impact on the media landscape. In the US and around the world. She's made a huge difference.
Yeah. So yeah, even if Never Have I Ever didn't exist, and you know, I like to think if Never Have I Ever didn't exist and I somehow got into the industry in a different way, I feel like I'd still say Mindy. Just because of just how groundbreaking she is and what she means to me just in my life. I know that if I ever have like a rough time or I need help, I know I can always ask her and like she'll be there for me.
Yeah, she's a powerhouse. Amazing. Yeah. Someone, a question that's been there for a while, and I think we have to answer it, is what's one place you'd recommend to anyone visiting the GTA?
Ooh. Do you have one?
Not off the top of my head right now. I mean, like, I really like the island. I really just like going to the island. But I mean, if you can, the big attraction going to the island is that you live in the city the whole time and then you just go to the island.
Yeah.
But I have a nostalgic connection with the island. My son went to school there. So
Nice.
yeah.
I mean, whenever like someone from like LA is talking to me about Toronto, I always talk about like the food.
Yeah.
And just honestly in all of the GTA.
Yeah.
You know, because there's really good food in Mississauga too.
Yeah.
Like good hidden gems.
Yeah.
So I would just say like hit up all the different like unique food places. Anyone who was coming to the GTA for the first time, I would tell them, do not go to a chain restaurant. Do not waste your time going to a chain restaurant if you're here. If it's something you can get from where you already live, don't bother. Only go to like unique restaurants. You know, because I think our food is so amazing. It's a true representation of the people that live in the GTA, right? So yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I remember at one point someone was asking me if I would consider like going to Stratford or something like that. And I've never been interested in going and spending like most of a year in a small town because I feel like I'd starve. No, I'm serious. Like, if there's not a really good, a couple of good Chinese restaurants, because there's so many different styles of Chinese food, and a good Indian restaurant, at least one or two, because again, same range of styles, and at least one good Korean restaurant, I'll die.
You know what? You'll just shrivel up and die, and so would I. We would just shrivel up and die.
I would starve to death. I would starve to death.
No, I mean, you're raising good points. Like, what's up there in Stratford? Like, so it's like wine country. That's like grapes.
I mean, there's theater. It's a good theater town, but
good theater town.
Yeah. Sure. And we're almost out of time, but
we can squeeze this one in.
Yes. What is a movie that you loved and would recommend everyone to watch?
Ooh,
that's a hard one too.
Movies.
So many good ones.
That's hard. I don't know what genre you like.
Yeah, I know. It's too hard.
I don't know what your cup of tea is. What if you like hate thrillers? I mean,
I don't know. I'm mostly watching Korean rom-coms these days. So
really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite rom-com?
Well, there's one that's really quirky and not everyone will like it, but I just think it's just kind of demented in just the right way. And it's called Mystic Pop-Up Bar. And it's about this woman who's like basically died 500 years ago and is having to save souls. It's crazy. It's
this is a rom-com?
It's a rom-com.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mystic Pop-Up Bar.
Okay. Noted. Mental note there. I think my favorite rom-com would always be My Maybe. I love it.
That one's
cute.
Really good.
It's so cute. Ali Wong can do no wrong.
Yeah.
They're so good. I think, considering this is the Canadian Screen Awards, shout out to a Canadian movie, Indian Horse. I think everyone should see Indian Horse.
Yeah.
I read the book for that because of high school. We had to do it for our Indigenous studies class.
Yeah.
And it was really good. And I think the movie does a pretty good job too. Yeah. So that would be my recommendation.
Excellent.
On the theme of Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Totally nailed it. I'm just thinking, how are we doing? 5 minutes left. When it's comfortable, natural enough to do so, you can intrude. Intrude? Oh, I think introduce. Okay.
When it's natural and comfortable enough. Only when.
I think it's pretty much naturally comfortable now. So I'll introduce Katie Elder. We're wrapping up here, and thank you so much, Maitreyi. It was so fun to talk with you.
Thank you so much.
It was really good. Hey, Katie.
Hello. Thank you so much for that conversation. I was just taking notes on your movie recommendations, and I'm definitely going to check those out. I'm very excited about Mystic Pop-Up Bar. That sounds great.
Hey.
I want to thank Maitreyi and Jean for today's conversation again. Thank you so much. That was so lovely to hear from both of you. And everyone, please tune in to the 2022 Canadian Screen Awards this week on Sunday, April 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on CBC and CBC Gem to see Maitreyi accept the Radius Award presented by MAID. Another thank you to our partners at William F. White International for presenting today's session.